Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to ECS. Tonight we have the fourth Playday of the Major Division, containing a game between Jaeger's Academy, who currently sit top of the Major Division, and RCTIC, who are sat in fourth. Joining me, I don't know what happened there, joining me, Kenny, for the first time ever on ECS, please everyone welcome Yannick.
Thank you very much, Kenny. It's an absolute honor to be here. It's absolutely amazing to get this opportunity to cast for ECS. I've heard a lot of good things about the league, and can't wait to cast the game.
Yeah, we have some ecstatic games here in ECS. If anything was to go by from the Contenders Division game between Makers Academy and the Last Resort on Tuesday, I would fully uh, recommend everyone go back and watch that VOD because that was incredible. I won't spoil the scores if you haven't seen it, but go back and watch the VOD because that was a barns burner of a game. And I believe we should have a fantastic game here as tonight as well. We've got RCTIC who came runners up in the complete ECS tournament 2 seasons ago, losing the best of five final to Lions Creed, and we've got Jaeger's Academy who had a rough end to last season. They were knocked out by the eventual winners of last season, Shreks and Hobbits, but now find themselves top of the table in Major Division, only dropping 2 points out of possible 18.
Absolutely amazing stuff from Jaeger. Like you said, first place. Sorry, are doing an absolutely amazing job. Very, very convincing wins at that as well from what they did, from what I've seen from them in the league. Um, from the roster, sadly, we don't have any information on the screen for you just yet. It's been kind of tough getting this.
Yeah, the CSV files have been rather inconsistent, but we can give you the player ball rosters tonight. We're going to see on the side of Jaegers, Paws, Uhis, Tazzy, Panda, and Demantus, and a very solid five of we've seen them play already. Every single one of these players can frag out. Tazzy on support on Clubhouse last week against AYB, he went absolutely nuclear. I think he started off, he went 8-0 and then 9-1 in the first 4 rounds or so. It was insane. And then Panda last week as well on Villa, he didn't want to lose that map. Eventually, they did end up with a 6-6 draw against Karlstad Kings on Villa, but Panda tried his utmost to gain all 3 points. And then on the side of RCTIC, do you want to take us through that, Yannick?
Yeah, we've got five, well, just as amazing players. We've got Kusik, NW, Svinu, Vipa, and Monks. Honestly, I'm sad to say that I have not really been able to get any CSV files as of late, but from this game, I do have one, and it shows that, well, they didn't really play that well. They drew one game and they lost one game and they won one game in the best of two. With Monks going, well, he was the top player from that game, and other than that, the teams were a bit lackluster. There's no real star players and no real players that were um, that really stood out in that game.
Yeah, Vip is one of those players who, on a good day, he can tear through any team. I've seen that man, especially in their run through the playoffs 2 seasons ago. He was tearing up major division teams as they came from open. And when he's got when he's on fire and he's on his game, he can really make the difference for RCTIC. But the question is, how consistent can he be? And on maps that you're used to playing, such as Clubhouse and Oregon, which will be our two maps of residence today, the maps that we've all come to glowingly love in ECS so far. I was hoping for that theme park pick from RCTIC as the final one, but it will be same old Oregon. But some interesting stats on Clubhouse for Jaegers, Janek.
That indeed, they've played it twice, and they've won it twice. Clubhouse is, I think, one of Jaeger's comfort picks for maps. They won it in quite an interesting fashion too. 7-2 for the first time around, and 7-3 the second time around against Karlstad Kings and PG Tips respectively. So, if these numbers are anything to go by, I'm gonna put this one in Jaeger's hands.
Yeah, especially with their first ban being Villa, which was the only map they've dropped points on so far this season, the 6-6 draw against Carlsted Kings last week. And that map they did look shaky on. I casted that map last week and they did not look as convincing as they were on Clubhouse. There were a lot of errors and mistakes in their setup. For example, when they defended Aviator Games one round, they had this whole top main stairs hold with a shield, two ADSs, barbed wire. No one played there, and Carlstadt Kings droned that out and just rushed up the main stairs, completely bypassing all the utility. So I think that on maps that aren't as regimented and
Hmm.
played as much as Clubhouse Oregon, they struggle. So I question RCTIC's map banning phase. I think Jaegers have really come on top here.
Yeah, I think you can definitely say that Jaeger won the map banning phase indeed. Honestly, even with the second map, if you want to go into that just a little bit, the second map of Oregon, it's I think it's pretty cool, pretty good to see for them.
Yeah, well, why don't we get straight on into Clubhouse? The predictions from the community and the staff both weigh in heavy favour for Jaegers, which I don't disagree with, especially with Jaegers sitting top of a major division. They are extremely strong this season, and I don't doubt that they are going to let up any steam in this match. But the question is, can RCTIC overcome the monsters of Major so far? They're going to start off by banning out the Maverick, as they do start on the defensive Clubhouse. That's a standard ban for Clubhouse, making it a lot harder to open up those breaches. You're going to have to try and go below to either impact away a bandit trick or Zafir Concussor a drone hole to remove the bandit from play. And Cade will also come into effect quite consistently with a Thatcher ban, but it won't be Thatcher banned away. Instead, the second attacker is Hibana.
Bond, of course, very efficient at opening hatches, something that you definitely have a lot of in Clubhouse. It's going to be quite limiting the attacker side with just one heart breacher remaining, and of course the heart breach gadgets that recently, well, 2 seasons ago, introduced into Rainbow Six Siege. You really only have the thermite and I think 6 or 7 heart breach gadgets left to open up any hatches or reinforced walls.
Yeah, and then another standard ban being the mirror. And just going back to that Hibana, her ban rate on Clubhouse has skyrocketed ever since she got that. I don't know whether to call it a rework or not, but she's able to shoot the 2, 4, or 6 pellets, respectively. And that means that opening up the hatches and the church wall with just one hard breacher of Hibana is completely viable. So I'm not surprised she's banned away, as Jaegers did ban her away last week on Clubhouse as well. And the final ban being that Maestro. Not typically a Cade as we see coupled with a Thatcher ban. Thatcher is still on the board, so we just have the Ace, the Thermite, and the Thatcher trio to be able to open up these really kind of mini game walls, if you want to call them that, because the opening up the CC breach and the gym hot tub breach can be a mini game in itself, not just. It's not as simple as, oh, let's open this wall with a hard breacher. There's a lot of mini game going on between a bandit, a Cade, a Thatcher, the Thermite. It can be quite interesting.
That indeed, it's the walls, man. It's like countering the counters. It's really interesting. The Thatcher, of course, being in play, does give the attacker side a very big advantage. They don't need to extend themselves downstairs to, well, in this case, if I'm talking about the CCTV wall, they don't have to extend downstairs into lounge to get rid of the bandit charges. It's a very safe bet for the attackers now to get rid of those breached utilities.
Yeah, but the interesting thing with leaving Thatcher on the board, it means that as we see Panda is sixth picking to that Thatcher coming off the Ash, Cade is still in play and being picked up by RCTIC's defense. And it's not. uh, People think that if Thatcher's on the board, wall denial, hatch denial isn't a plausible tactic. But just remember, you can Cade trick the hatches. If you sit on Moto on top of the box, you can juggle those Electro Claws and actually keep Moto Hatch completely shut. And the same with Blue Hatch, but Blue Hatch is a bit more of a task because you're exposed to the blue stairs. Moto is completely closed off, and if you sit on the box, there's no way the attackers can kill you otherwise than walking down main stairs, which is pretty much a death trap, especially if Moto Hatch is closed. And RCTIC are starting down in the basement, going for no extension up top, just going to be setting all 5 anchors down on that basement.
Going down the basement, I see them making a rotation to blue. Quite the default rotations with Decade, of course. As you said, Decade claw tricking is very much a viable tactic indeed. The attackers, though, are going to be pushing heavily for that kitchen hatch as well, which gives a lot of control over the armory site. Something that the attackers are going to desperately need to make an attack onto the site in their favor. So the round starts, going to see the attackers slowly move their way towards the building as we are going to see just how they are going to attack this bomb site.
Yeah, I said that all five defenders were on the basement. Actually, they have rotated upstairs. Our clean feed is a bit choppy, so uh, do not worry if we are slightly behind the action. But a default cam left up and a red ping, meaning that Panda should be able to figure out that the default cam outside main gate has been left open. And a slight roam on the top floor from the Mozzie of Monks, aided by those pests, will slow down the drone work from Jaegers. Hotter ball being left soft means that Paws will be able to open it with a breaching charge. And we are unfortunately just going to come back to us as we sort out our clean feed issues. So, let's predict, Yannick. Let's use our galaxy brains and figure out what would happen in this round.
Well, we did see them starting to open the hot top balcony wall. Something, it's quite an interesting push from for the attacker side, coming in from that side, the bedroom side. I reckon that they were gonna try and clear the bedroom side and just push from the workshop side of the site and to eventually come into the cache side.
Yeah, and a complete collapse from Jaegers has already started, and they have found themselves in a 5 versus 2 situation. But Vip pushes out of the triple wall, which has been opened by Thermite, to his downfall as Vip pushes out of that hole and gets the frag with the diffuser down. The pinch now between blue stairs and main stairs comes, and it's all up to the last two remaining defenders. But Vip gets one, and NW tacks on for a fourth in the round for Arctic. It's all left up to Tazzy, who pushes through Moto into Church, and the action has paused for me. I hear gunfire. He finds one. He's going for the second with the pistol out. Will he find the smoke of NW? And he nearly does, but can't land the headshot with the single pistol round from that P9. A very close first round. And Arctic, all on the back of Vip on the Cade, clutch a 2 versus 5.
What an absolute nail biter of a round. Just starting round one with that kind of round, it's amazing. Very sad there to see that Tazzy could not land the headshot at the end. He really needed that final bullet to hit, but the timer was just not in his favor. Oh my, what an absolute beautiful class. We saw them opening the church wall with the ace, giving them a lot of line of sight into the church, which caused the defenders to have to move from their stationary positions and kind of caused a little bit of chaos, I think, in the side of Jaegers.
Yeah, that was impressive. Obviously, we didn't see the early round and the clear that came out from Jaegers, but I assume it was dominant because they found themselves within half the round in a 5 versus 2 man advantage. And especially for a clubhouse basement attack, you expect the first pick or maybe the first 2 picks to come within the last 40 or so seconds when the attackers have finally cleared the map, cleared the roamers, forced them back down into basement. But I assume that Arctic tried to put up a fight on the top 2 floors, especially Monks on the Mozzie. He could have stayed upstairs to try and capitalize on his roaming position. But it was all up to Vip and NW, and they did absolute masses. And especially with 5 Jaegers attackers barreling down onto site. Really impressive anchoring.
Yeah, it's amazing how Arctic pulled that off. The underdog team in this wins the first round. Let's see if they can keep that up in round number 2 as they go up to CCTV Cache, a site where that CCTV wall is going to play an important factor together with the garage side of the site. Attackers are going to, at least the attackers of Jaeger's Academy, are going to want to gain control of that rather quickly into the round. But it's always up to the team to see how efficient can we do it, as well as a roam clear if there's going to be any roamers from the side of Arctic.
I find it really interesting that Arctic have foregone the pick of the Bandit. Yes, Thatch is still on the board, but Bandit tricking is completely viable, especially when there's a Thermite and the Ace on the board. You can still trick you can still successfully trick both ace charges if they're put on either side of the breach, and a single thermite charge as well. So that's and usually you use bandit tricking as a time waste tactic, and time wasting on the CCTV site for a defense can be the difference between winning and losing.
That is very much so, as the attackers are, of course, not just fighting against the 5 defenders, well, in this case of RCTIC, but also fighting against the clock, as they have to do quite a lot of things in the span of 3 minutes. Well, the 3 minutes of the second round have started, and the defense are going to need to finish up their final preparations for the round, as the attackers are going to start making their presence known. Pose just pulling up to the CCTV wall, seeing how it's all standing, seeing if there's maybe any form of breach style there. But sadly, the clean feed is going to pause again for me, as the other heart breacher of Tazi is just going to be outside.
Yeah, Tazzy's main attacker last week on the Maverick, in which he did go 9-1 in the first few rounds, has been banned away, so he's been demoted to the Thermite. With no bandit trick, the Zephyr concusses are still used just for a failsafe, and the CCTV wall has been opened with that deadly duo of the Thatcher and Thermite. So the next port of call, I assume, for Jaegers is going to be taking Garage, as Tazzy has opened up lower Garage with his Selma charges. They have the frag grenades on Demantis to be able to clear the player on Rafters, and the EMPs to disable the Rafters players' ADSs. So Monks, he is going to have a tall order, but he is supported by Kusik down in Oil Pit. So that means if any player tries to push up the garage stairs, Kusik should get a free kill.
You see Kusik though, he's moving off the position. Actually, not yet. He's still there. Of course, it's quite a default angle, but an angle quite hard to contest if you are the attacker. The angle is very much not in your favor, and especially you're gonna lose that if you don't expect it. But we do give Jaegers I do expect them to know about that angle. CCV wall is open. They're going to start pressuring it from there now. We see the sledge, or excuse me, the Zofia on the rappel on the CCTV side, as Lucy is still downstairs in lounge trying to pick a couple players off and strengthen the hold of Garage.
Monks is wasting so much time here. He even evades the first frag grenade from Demantis' sledge. He is doing really good work on the rafters here. He still has a C4 to be able to expend down onto the garage door if needed, but still with the Melusi in lounge is stalling out Jaeger's attack. They have so many angles, especially with the Thatcher of Panda to be able to push into garage. He has to watch so many angles, but he does make it in and starts pushing up the stairs. Then the Oil Pit player of Kusik isn't spotted out, and that is a freebie for him. Tazzy looks for the refrag down with the AK-12, but doesn't get the kill. It will be Monks to finally get a kill, but traded out by Demantis, as pushing in the site is Uhis on the Thermite, and he gets the 2 anchor players down and dead. But he does not have diffuser in his hands. He's going to have to recross top red stairs to collect the diffuser, as the final 2 players on RCTIC are down below. Mute, I'm not sure if he has availability of a C4 and if there's intel on the side of RCTIC to be able to utilize that C4, but yes, they do have complete site control now. But Uhis peeks down the red stairs and gets his head taken off by Kusik. Diffuser down as well, as he has been traded. It's all up to VIP in the 1 versus 1 against Pause. Diffuser been recovered by Pause, and he now rotates his way into Cash. 30 seconds left on the timer, and VIP will let the bomb go down, but pick his teammate up in return. So they now have a 2 versus 1 onto Pause instead of the 1 versus 1. Creeping down the red stairs, Pause does get that frag, and now he only has 1 bullet to finish off the Jaeger of Kusik. The man who started off the fragging inside of Oil Pit now has to rotate up the garage stairs and get this frag and the diffuser disable. Putting into the 90 corner. He can only vault the garage window, which will be heard by the Zephyr of Pause, but he doesn't peek, which allows the Jaeger to cross onto default spot, but he holds his nerve and holds the angle. Pause with the 1 versus 2 clutch to give Jaegers their first round on Clubhouse.
Absolutely amazing shot there from Pause. Amazing play from Pause to keep his calm and not peek the Jaeger, as he must have heard him vault over the rafters window. So Honestly, I think it's well played by Jaegers there. I personally didn't get to see much from the round as the clean feed for me was lagging the whole time, so I'm sorry. Maybe you can enlighten our audience on how that round went.
Yeah, so yet again, we just have to apologize. We are coming back to a rehost to change our observer, so we are going to have a, hopefully, well, 99% sure, a perfectly fine clean feed this time around. So we'll be able to give you the highest quality of action furthering on, as we've seen for the first two rounds, filled with action. And that the first round, a 2 versus 5 clutch from Arctic, and then a 1 versus 2 from Pause on the side of Jaegers for round two. I If anything to go by, the first two rounds, I think we're going to be in for a lot more exhilarating final few seconds of most of these rounds.
Yeah, we've definitely been coming down to the final few seconds, especially that first round being so close for Tazzy, but he just couldn't get it. That still is living in my mind. It's absolutely amazing to see that round. But second round for CCTV, the defense did crumble a bit more than the first time, and that's a 1-1 standing now. So it's very much everything still to play for.
Yeah, especially now with either Arctic having to return to CCTV or choosing to move along to Gym Bedroom, which has become a more viable site in the minds of a lot of teams. Teams are starting to be able to develop the defense on the cash side for a gym bedroom defense, where they reinforce all five walls and play either a Malusi or a Vigil in there who has access to the impact grenades to be able to impact trick the cash wall. And especially with Maverick and Hibana being banned, impact tricking that cash wall, or all five cash walls actually, is really potent and can really stunt an attacking force.
Yeah, indeed, it's definitely the impact's going to make the if Arctic, and I do believe that they do know about this, are smart enough to bring the impacts, then yeah, it's going to make a very big difference on the hold of CCTV, and then with extension into gym bedroom, indeed.
Especially with the Thatcher being played. I liked how Jaeger's attacked that CCTV wall, but it questions me that they still use the Zafir concussions to disable or stop a bandit trick when bandit wasn't even on the board, and that means that they haven't actually droned out that there is no bandit tricking. And because Zafir used both concussions through the drone hole to get the breach open, it meant that their ability to burn the Rafters player's ADS with those concussions was completely gone. And you saw Demantis was really struggling to actually frag grenade the player of Monks out of Rafters. And I'm surprised that even with the kill from Oil Pit and Monks himself getting a kill from Rafters, that they still managed to win that round, even with a pretty failed garage push, in my opinion.
I guess you could say that, yeah, but I do think that they did recover very well from that, and I think they just, in the end, they did. Arctic did win their initial gunfights, but I think Jaeger actually won the gunfights after that, killing the person in rafters and then moving it up. But I'm really sorry, but I cannot really say much about it because I didn't see too much of the action.
Yeah,
It's
so
really bad.
UHIS ran through the breach when their garage attack failed on
Hmm.
Thermite and killed both anchor players. So he killed the player
Oh,
top red and then killed the player in cash. So he then
Jesus.
had complete site control, but he didn't have the bomb. So he had to run back out the breach, recover the bomb, run back in, even though he had site control and then Pause had garage control on Zafia, the two remaining defenders were still below. So there was the Jaeger who rotated from
Hmm.
Oil Pit up Blue Stairs, and then the Mute was playing below with a C4 in Lounge. But obviously they didn't have a Valkyrie, Maestro's banned, didn't have an Echo, they had no intel on the plant, and both players were stuck below. And especially when attackers have top red control, rotating up red stairs, as we saw, is pretty much a death trap. We saw the Jaeger get downed from it in the down trade with the Thermite, and then uh, when the revive came post plant, the Mute pushed up red stairs and was killed by Pause as well. So, especially when the defenders lose the bomb site and play from below, it's almost a lost round. So it was impressive that Jaegers were able to take the ground and take the site all on the back of UHIS, and then
Hmm.
Pause just cleaned up the round in the post plant really impressively.
Yeah, indeed. That's if you describe it like that, it was definitely a really interesting round. I'm actually kind of sad we didn't get to see it. But actually, then you must say that the Thermite did some really, really good job there and clearing the site. We are getting to hear that the observing is back. I'm just gonna get that confirmed in my ear that the clean feed is back. We might be able to go back to the match soon enough. All right.
Soon-ish. You can hear us waffle for slightly longer. What else, John? Well, Yannick, as us at ECS, we don't know much about you. Give us a little bit of backstory, where you came from, casting,
Oh boy.
experience. Yeah, give us a little bio.
Well, I'm gonna be totally honest. I haven't been doing this for very long. You can probably hear that. I'm kind of choking. I'm really, really sorry for that. Choking over my own words and not really finding the words that I do want to say. But I've been casting now for about a year. And oh, we do have the game back online. Well, I've been casting for a year. Casted for another league for a year. Sorry, a month. Excuse me. Been casting for a month and I casted for another league. And with the help of a very good friend of mine, I got into ECS, and I do really want to improve myself here. So stay tuned, and hopefully I'll become a better caster. Maybe somewhere near as good as Kenny is.
Oh, I'm flattered. Thank you very much. Well, we're all here to improve and have a good time, so don't worry about it, Yannick. We're I once started and I was muffling my words. I still muffle my words to this day. So Arctic starting well, going back to the CCTV defense, which they have just previously lost. If you're just tuning in, first map between Arctic and Jaegers. Currently the score is leveled at 1 apiece, with Jaegers losing their basement attack onto Church and then narrowly winning their top floor attack. So Arctic obviously figuring out what went wrong. They have now switched up their operator lineup, picking to the Bandit and also the Cade. And this is really interesting because I believe Monks, yes, he's placing his Electro Claws on the rafters to electrify bottom garage. That means that Panda's going to have to use his EMPs to disable those electric claws so Tazzy can open up bottom garage, and then he's going to be strapped for EMPs when they finally go for the CCTV breach, which VIP is bandit tricking. And even further than that, NW has placed his shield in the red doorway so the Zafir concussions do not block VIP from bandit tricking.
They're really set on getting that CCTV wall open, but Comtas is gonna get the Mantis is gonna get Kusik, and that's your Jaeger off the board. But the Jaeger, of course, has a semi-passive ability that you just place down, so it won't be that much of a pain for Arctic on the utility side of things. Here you see that mini game, as you like to call it, of between the Bandit and the Thermite. Plus the Thatcher on one side. Vip gets naded from below. Demantus absolutely outplaying Arctic's strategy here as the CCTV wall gets opened in a relatively small time, and 2 minutes still left, and a lot of forward momentum here from Jaeger.
Yeah, they are going to have to clear this Rafters player of Monks, which they really struggled with last round. Tricky just worming his way into bottom garage, especially with those garage walls still being closed, and the Cade tricking from Monks isn't able to completely stop the ace charges going off, but he's able to stunt their growth as the sequential detonation of them is halted by those electric claws. And interesting, how many EMPs does Panda have left? It doesn't really matter because Pause kills the player in garage by just jumping through server window. NW not holding that angle, and the team suffers. Now Jaegers in a 4 versus 2. Make that a 4 versus 1.
Just getting another one to Tricky, and it's all up to NW, but he gets found pretty quickly by Demantus. Demantus going absolutely huge this round, getting a 3k at least with that impressive nade from below to cancel out the bandit trick. I think Jaeger's Academy knew exactly what Arctic was going to do here.
Yeah, it looked like it. So we are just having another rehost. Welcome to Rehost City. For the server, we were hosted onto I don't know. Well, if anyone's played Siege in the past few days, most people know that the servers have been rather doo-doo. So, especially in custom games, you have to get quite lucky on what actual server you get put on inside the region that you hosted on. So we're just going to have a rehost for the server being slightly laggy, as I know that Ubisoft are actually in the process of migrating their servers over to, I think it's a higher tick rate. So a downside of that, a byproduct, is that we get pretty bad servers at the time being. But why don't, Yannick, you continue your bio, which you were rudely interrupted by the match restarting?
Just one more thing about the rehost. It shouldn't take as long as the last rehost. It's just a quick server restart. So I should be back in around 2 or 3 minutes. But about my bio, as I said, I started casting about a month ago, and a lovely friend of mine. Some of you guys in the audience might know her. She's an absolutely fantastic person. Fast Ann. Don't know if you know her, Kenny. You know?
Streamer.
Yeah, the streamer.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I consider her a friend, and she considers me a friend after, well, I've said some really bad things about her on cast, but hey, it's okay. But no, I started casting about a month ago, and I've got a lot of positive feedback, but I still think I can learn a lot, and I think I can learn a lot here as well at ECS, an absolutely fantastic league from what I've heard, and special thanks to Two Doors for getting me in and Fast On.
Yeah, Two Doors is an absolute gem so far. And for ECS, we all obviously welcome you here with open arms. And I'm running out of things to talk about in these rehosts.
Well, um, do you want to maybe delve into the bans, the mirror ban? How do you think that's going to influence their gameplay this map?
I have a strong belief that if you ban mirror on Clubhouse, you don't really know what you're doing. But Mirror can be used efficiently on Clubhouse. I can say for basement, she can be really strong, especially if you place the mirror windows on church wall facing bottom main stairs. Coupled with a Thatcher ban, it makes it almost impossible to actually get that mirror off. And then if you place the second mirror on dummies facing blue on the left hand side wall,
Mm-hmm.
crouched, so it can't be shot from the hatch, you can pretty much control blue. No player can push down oil pit because they're facing a mirror, and if anyone drops the hatch, they're a dead man from the player behind the generator or behind the mirror. And also, she's really strong in gym bedroom. You can place it on the bathroom wall, and that just faces hot tub, and it makes it really difficult for an attacker to actually push in the hot tub breach. You can, however, destroy that mirror from below. Not many people know that the floor inside of bathroom is destructible from below in bar, and that's why I'm a firm believer, because even if Mira's unbanned, most teams will not play her on Church Arsenal,
Mm-hmm.
because it completely changes how you defend the bomb site. You have to leave a triple wall soft. You have to then have a player dedicated to playing the dummy box mirror, and it just shifts up your composition. And when they are commonly brought, bringing the mirror on top floor and placing it in bathroom, a team that knows what they're doing are just going to go below and destroy that mirror from below. And if you have a strong nade player, you can just nade the player through the soft floor that's sitting on the mirror, because you
Yeah.
know they're going to be sat on the mirror, so it's almost a free kill. Um, but yeah, the mirror ban, I've seen Jaegers, they have played her quite consistently. If she's unbanned on Clubhouse, so I think it's a strong ban.
All right. Well, thank you very much for rambling enough for another minute. So that's definitely killing the time very, very well. Well, Jaeger is actually coming back from losing the first round, and they're coming back now 2-1. Is this, do you think, something momentum? Really do think that Jaeger has the upper hand in this game. Do you think this is something that is going to go on for the rest of the game? Maybe they can extend it into a, who knows, a 5-1 split?
Yeah, I think well, last week when they played Carlsted Kings on Clubhouse, they did take a 5-1 split on their attacks, and their attacks were really dominant. So if they start stringing together a few more rounds and Arctic can't halt the momentum, Jaegers are just going to run away with it. And that's now on Arctic, because they are able to go back down into the basement and try and solidify a level pegging in the scoreboard, and that's going to be up to them to try and change what happened, because they only won this bomb site in a 2 versus 5, and Vip went absolutely ham inside of Moto with the Cade Org. So he can't do that every round, and it's up to the rest of Arctic to be able to pull their weight and figure something out.
And indeed, you're gonna have to see Rush of Arctic kind of wake up as the kills do need to be found from both sides. Jaeger's Academy definitely have found the kills early on in the first couple of rounds, especially the Thermite. I think it was US on the Thermite in the first CCTV hold. That was round number 2 that got the double kill. Amazing stuff from him. That definitely turned the tide of that round. But we're now in round number 4. Totally different round, and we're gonna see if Arctic can maybe switch up their defense, because the last time they won Church Armory, it was not that convincing. It came down to the final millisecond, and the ace of Tazi just could not get the shot off at the end there. But we can see if maybe they can redeem themselves in this attacking round.
Yeah, so Monks is going to start on the Mute instead of the Mozzie with that sick pick and place his jammers on the top floor again to aid his roam, being able to deny the drones. And the support from Tricky on the Malusian side of Lounge has been spotted out by Panda's drone, hopefully. So the player of Demantis inside of Garage is going to now be able to pinch Tricky out of Lounge. There's a player underneath the barricade on main door who lands just a singular bullet on Tiki, but that means that now Tiki is stuck inside of this corner in Lounge because Panda now has the cross, but he comes off the angle just to re-drone Tricky. And that may allow Tricky to escape. The yellow ping could come through for a wallbang from Demantis, and he's almost aiming at Tricky through the wall, but Tricky has relocated into stock. If Jaegers are now aware of the player's position inside of stock, Tricky is a dead man. That's a really bad position to play.
Yeah, he's going to be stuck there for at least the next couple of seconds, but Panda pinged the little corner in Lounge, so I don't think that Jaeger's Academy are aware of his new position just yet. So you're going to see a bit of a collapse coming. Kosek has come to assist his teammate from Adam. Gonna see if he can get a kill. He sees the head off the sledge, but can't land his shots as Demantis does pull back on time. They're gonna build a little bit of consumption here. Demantis not gonna push the Jaeger as he does get the kill, but meanwhile Yuhis gets one as well into Monks. It's a 5v3 situation, but Tricky wants to get one back, and he does as Tazi gets found, and that is one of your Heartbreachers gone. As we know, it does get tricky, and it's a 4v2 situation with just over 1 minute left on the board.
Yeah, and here we go. The Cade Electrical tricking is coming into effect, and he successfully gets the exothermic charge. That's the last exothermic charge that Yuhis has to his availability, and it means they are going to now have to barrel down main stairs to be able to take Moto, as Kitchen Hatch is still intact. There's not much going in the way of Jaeger's hard breach here, because Tazi has fallen. So there's nothing left to be able to open any of these reinforced walls or hatches. So they're going to have to funnel through Moto, and especially when Vip's on the other end, there's going to be a tall order. He finds the first headshot onto Yuhisan, downs the diffuser. A second one pushing through long haul is paused, but he finally downed and out Vip. It's all up to the man who clutched the initial round, NW on Church. He has the SMG-11 in hand. The pings come through onto the player planting the bomb, and the covering player of Demantis has been felled by the SMG-11, finished off by that shotgun. Now, the live pings from, I assume, a Bulletproof is giving away the player's position behind the church, the Arsenal bomb, sorry, and he will be smoked out of that position. Finally, the intel is removed and cleared by the Zafir, and the head height holes along the long corridor finds pause, the angle onto the head of the smoke.
Arctic just fell apart slowly but surely throughout the round, with the Malusi stuck upstairs. It's just getting that health nibbled away at by the players of Jaeger's Academy. I think Arctic just didn't have it in them. They all fell one by one, and in the end, it all came down to a 2v4 clutch, which was just a bit too much of a task for the two players, and rightfully so, as you do have the gunners on Jaeger's Academy, with the Zofia still up with a phenomenal gun that really has good potential to kill.
I think that Arctic, they've just got to recognize when to fall back, because they wasted 2 minutes on the roam. The aid between the mute jammers and just the worming of the Malusi inside of Lounge and stock really stalled out Jaeger's attack, and you saw that they were face checking things. They didn't actually know the position of any of those roamers, and if they had just fallen back, if they just left the Malusi in stock, and yes, Jaeger was trying to aid his teammate from Adam, but You've wasted 2 minutes. Just leave the Malusi, who wasn't actually known to Jaeger's attack inside of stock. They just assumed she had fallen back down. They they could have had a 4-man on site. And when there was no hard breach left on Jaeger's attack, they could have just played the numbers and played the trades, with Jaegers having to funnel through long haul and moto. So I think Arctic really needed to fall back, with Monks as well playing too aggressive on main stairs, losing his life as well as the player on Adam. If Arctic just plays slightly more passive, they could collect this round. But they are going to be playing passive because they are playing an SSG roam now.
SSG Rome on Clubhouse. Haven't seen one of those in a very, very long time. Well, I'm actually not too familiar with it. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to ask you to explain just a little bit how that works, as Pose is going to pre-fire CCTV barricade, but to no avail.
Yes, you have the combination of the Mute, Mozzie, and Vigil for complete drone denial. Aided with the castle barricades on the construction window means that Kusik here will be able to fall back down the construction hatch, and there's just control on the entire map from Arctic's defense.
Ooh, Year's getting tagged there, not looking good for him HP-wise, but he does get out of it with his life, as he is in the gunfight with Monks, but Monks gets it down. I don't know if he actually actively knows that. There's one more below in Garage of Tomantis, but Monks finds that with a very efficient headshot, and he does see the blood trail coming out of the door. C4 coming out, but doesn't connect. Pose gets on the coat onto Kusik, as he does want to level out the man count. Monks decides to not finish off the kill, playing more passive, as you have advised them to do. Junis is just bleeding out outside. This is gonna be looking like nobody's gonna be really on time to save him. Pose is going to make an attempt, but the Legion Mine is going to slow him down at that.
Well, they might not be able to recover in time because he's taken the Guman out. Oh, my heart stops there. And yet again, the drone denial from Arctic has really worked in their favour. There's only 3 drones left for Jaegers, and they still haven't droned out Tricky in the exact same position in stock. And he gets 1 for his attempts and nearly a second, but isn't able to land the shots onto the Thatcher of Panda. He is going to wide swing and almost land the headshot, but no, Panda comes out on top with merely 1 bullets left worth of HP. And yet, Jaegers have still not fully cleared the roam. Vip is still lurking around bathroom, and with pool table window open, he's going to hear that and maybe potentially get a kill for it. Yes, Panda gets finished off what's merely left of him, and still gets shown down. A beautiful secondary shot from Vip finishes off also what was left of Uhis. Now all on Tazzy, who pushes his way down the blue stairs looking to assault onto the bomb site. There will be potentially a goo mine, but yes, they are aware of his position. He walks into a perfect crossfire between the 2 site players, and Arctic, after a very successful roam on the hands of Monks, he finishes a round, and Arctic aren't down and out just yet.
2-3 now the standing. Arctic making a very, very, very good push back. They want to end this half on even footing, as they are going to be aiming for that 3-3 split right now. Not something that is necessarily in their favor on Clubhouse, but something that they're going to have to live with. And if they do get it, they're going to have to be super happy about, as the attacks from Jaeger have, of course, been very, very potent. Do you see them now going towards Gym Bedroom for the first time in this map?
Yeah, sensible option and pick from Arctic, I think. Especially with Jaegers really, well, looking like they struggle on clearing an extended hold. If Arctic do extend into cash, which they are actually not, they're reinforcing off the construction wall, so it's going to be a construction hold. Now this is quite interesting. I haven't seen something like this before. They have the smoke shield placed in construction on the master door facing the cash door into construction, and coupled with the mute jammers, that's going to really hold off the attack from Jaegers. The hard breach is going to be mute jammed, the drones are going to be jammed, so the construction window is going to be the pivotal player in this round, I believe. They have to Jaeger's attack have to get control of that construction window and remove utility from there, but it's a really unfavorable angle for an attacker to peek, so can Arctic capitalize on that?
Well, we're going to see if that's going to happen, as they do have a lot of intel to work with, as most of the drones are still alive, except for the one of Panda. So on drone economy side, they're doing pretty well. Still have a lot of opportunity to find find the enemy or find their enemies, and the defenders of Arctic. Kusik is going to be lurking around between Cash and CCTV as that wall is getting opened right in front of his eyes. The pressure is going to be put on him, and he is going to decide that he doesn't like the pressure, and he might just barricade off the door and fall back into construction.
This is good from Jaeger's attack. They've just merely opened up the CCTV wall and set a player on the rappel, so Arctic's defense cannot peek the site windows. And now they rotate across to Hot Tub, open up the wall, but Panda gets felled by the peek from VIP from Dirt Tunnel. The peek and the punch hole from Dirt Tunnel all the way onto Hot Tub balcony. That's a common ranked play, and VIP knows he's ranked.
He's gonna be really, really happy after that kill, saying something that I sadly cannot understand, but it's gonna be probably something around. It looked like reported, but I don't really know Finnish language. Tricky, meanwhile, doesn't expect the Zofia prone as they're in a bit of a gunfight, but Pause comes up on top as Kusik is meanwhile down in construction. Not looking very good for Arctic right now. Pose is going to see if he can finish off that kill. I don't think Jaegers are actually very aware of Kusik being down in construction, but the sound cues might be coming out from their side as Pose is going to make his way into construction. Kusik is still stuck, but is he going to be able to get the finish? Monks gets one to Tazzy. Let's see how this is all going to go. Kusik did meanwhile fall back all the way into side. Pose gets one on the Kusik. It's 3v3 with 1 minute remaining, and the Hot Tub wall is open.
Yes, they've struggled to get bathroom wall open, however, as that Cade Electric Core still persists. Uhis won't be able to thermite that open. There's even a mute jammer to boot. So Jaegers have just now slowed it down. They're setting out the drones with a Demantis in logistics able to cut off the rotation in sight, and two players on the site window, one player on the site window coupled with the Thermite who's pushed up top main. Because they have logistics control, Uhis can push this corridor safely, but he finds nothing in the peak. Demantis floods into master bedroom, but they don't check the bathroom, and there's a trade coming in, and it's all up to Pause yet again, who has already a 1 versus 2 on his name. He finds one to aid his potential clutch. The bomb going down with 10 seconds. NW is going to have to find this kill before the bomb goes down, but the stick from Pause works, and NW very passive on the peak. Not a lot of confidence from that man, but the un-ADS from Pause is his downfall as NW finishes him off with the shotgun. And Arctic go into the side swap. A pretty level 3-3.
Everything still to play for in the Switch right now. 3-3, as you have said. Amazing hole of Gym Bedroom. The plant did go down from Pause. Pause going absolutely massive at 7 kills. He has been absolutely winning all of his gunfights. The absolute madman he is on the Zofia. See if he can do the same thing on the defense. As we're going to be going to CCTV Cache, a site that I really like to play in ranked. What is your preferred first pick for a site in ranked, Kenny?
I think pre-Hibana, Basement was the best site. When Hibana's banned, Basement is the best site. When Hibana is unbanned, CCTV is the best site. CCTV works really well if you're able to play your C4s, because most teams will go for a garage take, open up the CCTV wall, and then plant in default behind the server rack. But you can throw and toss a C4 from cache through the soft wall between the sites perfectly onto the default plant spot. And that is such a crucial round-winning play from a defense that is very hard to stop as an attacker, because when it comes over the top of the server rack, it's very difficult to shoot it from garage. Because of that reinforced wall, you don't really get the angle onto there we go. Thank you very much, Jerry, for showing the line of sight and the curve that the C4 would take in theory. That C4 is a round winner, and it's very difficult to stop that C4 as an attacker, because if you're going for a garage take, you're unlikely to have, say, a buck down in stock able to tear up the floor in cache, and it's just difficult. So, and taking garage is just a nightmare to boot. So
yeah, it really
this is probably the best site to answer your question.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for a really detailed explanation. Yeah, man, I think I need you to coach me in my ranked games next time, man. It's absolutely insane. Alright, maybe I can get out of my hard stuck gold.
I don't lose my ranked games unless there's a cheater on the other team.
Ooh, okay. take you up on that. Well, I'm willing to bet some money on that. But enough rambling about ranks, as this is ECS Major, and RCTIC are gonna be making their way on their first attacking site. Seems to be a stack on CCTV, as they are going to try to get that wall open, but there is nothing much but a mute jammer stopping them from opening the wall. Thatcher is not on the board though, so just simply throwing a Thatcher nade there to open up and destroy, or actually temporarily disable the mute jammer is not going to be happening just yet. Kusik is going to try to nade it from below with his ass breaching charge.
Really good utility placement from the Wamai, is able to catch one of those Ash charges, and now the reduced range on the Ash charge means that the second one falls short and does not destroy the mute jammer. This is RCTIC falling to their own operator lineup. Thatcher is on the board. Why have you not brought him?
Quite a standard pick, you would say. A pick that is quite... anybody would pick. It's a really powerful operator, especially since the disable. Some would argue that it is just... it was actually a buff, but the impact tricking not being successful, as the ace is going to be able to open up the wall. Tricky and Monks are going to be here in construction as Monks gets onto Panda. That's him loose from the board. We're going to see how that's going to play out in the next minute of the round. Kusik is still on CCTV window. He is trying to hold those angles and basically blocking the rotate from Jaeger.
Yeah, so RCTIC's attack not able to open up the CCTV breach means that Pause is able to play in this spot on the CCTV breach, holding server window. And server window is a crucial position to be able to play as an attacker. But Pause, through those head height holes on that position, does find a player through the soft wall, through the breach, and all the way into construction. So the Mancan Hern's now been leveled, and another trade comes out as we get into a 3 versus 3. Monk's looking to go for the plant, but he is forced away by a smoke grenade, and Uhis with a double on the smoke. Oh. It means that the round is all in Jaeger's favor. Kusik is now looking for a 1 versus 3 as he finally finishes off the smoke coming up the red stairs, but pushing through the rotate. Pause finds that kill.
To smoke there, coming in big, getting 2 kills, almost a third, but it wasn't to be. The shotgun just being a little bit off to the side of the player pushing up the red stairs. Goodness, absolutely. It was quite a good defense from the side of Jaegers. Well, it was a really good defense as they did actually win it. The attack from RCTIC was very well thought out, but the smoke, I think, in the end kind of ruined it for them as Monks tried to go in, but couldn't really stand where he wanted to stand as he got was forced to relocate due to the smoke canisters coming out.
Yeah, that round was really well played by Uhis. He forced Monks to push deep into the bomb site into his line of fire. And then the secondary shot onto the player on the cash door was just exquisite. 2 kills with 1 SMG-11 mag. As a smoke main myself, I can say that's impressive stuff, especially both headshots. So Uhis pulling it together for Jaegers, as they did look a bit wobbly with RCTIC getting the opening kill and control, but ultimately Jaegers came out on top. So now they fall back down onto the basement and are also going for an SSG style roam. But instead of picking up the castle, they have the other FBI operator of the Pulse, wielding the UMP to gather intel to aid the roamers of Demantis, Panda, and Uhis. The triple drone denial worked really well for RCTIC's defense. How can they flip it around and make it work for them? Counter.
Quite interested to see how they're going to be adapting into the defenses of Jaegers. That's a little bit of a fight here in the spawn peak from Demantis coming out. He does take a little bit of HP off Monks. Nothing too... well, it is half of his HP. It's going to at least cost him 1 or 2 bullets. He does more damage to Tricky. And Panda gets the kill into Kusik, and that's the Ash off the board. Actually quite interested to see how he did that. That was an amazing shot. He's not seeing the body of the Ash. Oh, I see. Wow. Amazing spawn peak. Quite a default spawn peak, but Kusik was not ready for it. So he does get found. But a lot of damage done by Jaeger Academy onto RCTIC, as your Ace and your Sledge are now just a bit, collectively over half HP. Vip also falls to the hands of Demantis.
Yeah, Arctic really struggling with this roam clear, and as another one falls, and
Oh.
another. It's all gone down the drain pipe for Arctic's attack. All up to Monks. Now, he has the AK-12 able to rip through any defender, but he has to rip through 5 to get this round in Arctic's hands. He has around 60 HP to make it work, and I assume he will just be taking his time. So Arctic are able to talk through. Their IGL able to talk through. Why did that fail? He will engage with the Mantis, but not able to win the gunfight outright. And a flawless defense for Jaegers on their roam gives them a 5 advantage.
5-3 indeed. We're stevening off to quite a clean sweep here from our Jaeger's defensive side. Won both of them so far. I'm going to see if they can keep on this momentum as they're going to go to their tertiary bomb site of Gym Bedroom. Well, no Mira in play. Usado one is banned, but going to see how they're going to do it. How going to defend Gym Bedroom. The smoke being 6 picked out. I'm going to see what is going to be a frost play coming in from Uhis. Or maybe not.
He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it.
Frost
is actually... Frost can be a good operator on Gym, because a lot of teams will jump in the Gym window or the Master window or even the Construction window. And when there's a frost mat there, you're typically not looking down when you jump in, say, Gym window. You're either looking hard right towards the master bedroom mattress, or you're looking straight ahead of you into the 90 hall. There's so many angles to watch that if you have to, before you even engage any of those angles, you have to look straight down to shoot the frost mat. You are completely exposed to any defensive gun. And especially when you has the availability of a shield, a secondary shotgun, and a 1.5 scope on a gun that has 0 recoil with an active grip. It hits like a truck. Frost, in this current meta, is actually a really viable operator, and I'm excited to see her pick rate start to expand.
Indeed, as teams are definitely more going to discover Frost more. I have a friend of mine that likes to play Frost on this bomb site as well. She tears through people. Very interesting strategy, but not the same coming out from Uhis. But as you say, the SMG of Frost is an absolute machine gun. Although it doesn't fire really fast, the damage is really good. NW is going to start to open the wall, as there's no breach denial there to stop them. I'm not sure if there was a mute jammer placed there, but either way, the wall is going to be opened. And I think that's all 5 players of Arctic stacked on Jacuzzi Balcony.
Yeah, so Jaeger's defense has completely extended all the way to even red stairs. They have a rotate from top red onto cash, so they have a complete extension, which Arctic are completely ignoring. This is a good attack strategy. They are just looking to go straight from the balcony, open up the hot tub wall, which they've already succeeded in doing, and then open up bathroom wall, which gives them an entry into master bedroom. The initial impact trick is successful. Not even an impact trick. I think they just purely shot the ace Selmas off from Gym. But now finally the third Selma does open up the bathroom wall, but on the wrong side, which means that a player will still be able to sit in the stall. An aggressive jump out from construction window finds Demantis eliminated from the rest of the round, but a secondary peek from the window finds Panda the trade.
So we are going to go into the final half of the round. Frost is going to be found by Monkas, and that's an easy kill for him. Tazi finds one onto NW, and we're going to see how they are going to hold out. They do have a bit of the site under their control. Bedroom is a very good extension. Kusik does find Tazi, but Panda gets a refrag onto Kusik, and it's a 2v2 now as Vip finds one, and it's all down to a 1v1 in the end between 2 of the top fraggers on both teams, Pose with 10 and Vip with 6. Both on low HP, bring around the rosies, as Pose does have the diffuser. Very important piece of information to know, as Vip's going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place, as he has the timer against him. So he needs to get the diffuser and get it down, or get the kill onto Pose before the timer runs out. Pose is playing this very, very smart, very, very passive, and Vip has to peek into him, and that's the kill for Pose. And Jaeger's Academy are up 6-3.
I don't think Vip recognized how long he actually had to play with. He knew that he had the Jaeger pinned inside of Gym. Yes, the Jaeger can rotate into the 90 corridor, but there is a rotate in bathroom that would give that audio cue if he did make the rotate. the Zofia still had both concussions left, which in a 1 versus 1 is a vital piece of utility that gives you an advantage in a gunfight. Both players were 1 bullets from death, no matter where they were hit in the body, either the leg or the arm, which does 70% damage. Both guns would have killed each player in 1 singular bullet. So it was all onto the mechanics of both players and how they positioned themselves and how they took the gunfights in who was going to win. But when you have 2 concussion mines in your pocket and you know a player is inside of gym, that's going to give you the advantage in a gunfight, because the Jaeger is going to have that initial second of complete blindness on his screen, and then he's going to have no sound cue on where VIP is rotating. So it would have given VIP the upper hand in the engagement, but I think he just panicked, and a lot of players at this level just tunnel vision, and they tunnel vision on getting the kill, when if you actually look at the bigger picture, he had 2 concussions, also 2 impacts, which weren't going to be as influential, but he had utility to play with and a whole minute as well.
Definitely a bit of a rush play there from VIP. Although he has 6 kills, he couldn't extend it with yet another one that would have gotten them the round. But it's Jaegers on match point. 6-3, they need just one more round to win this map. As you're going to see them wanting to do that with the defense of CCTV and Cash. RCTIC are going to want to stop that. They want to win this attack so they can at least extend it by one more round. Ideally, they want to go to a 6-6. But we're going to see how that's going to work for them in this round.
Yeah, they're going to start their assault on CCTV by finally, this time, opening up the CCTV breach, which they were unsuccessful in doing last attack, as they didn't have the Thatcher. But the pick from Kusik onto the Thatcher instead of the Ash means that they are easily able to open up that wall. And now the split push, yet again coming out from RCTIC. But the peek from Cash Door finds Panda the opening kill onto Tricky. And that's 2 frag grenades off the board and also another drone to boot. Paws running out of Garage Door finds the kill onto the player repelled on the platform. That's NW gone from the round as well. And this map is looking all but over.
It's looking very, very dire for the side of RCTIC as the impact trick is going to be successful. VIP taking a lot of damage. I think that was from the smoke of Uhis in red stairs. Panda is also peeking him. It's not looking too good for the side of RCTIC, but they have time to work with. Monks finds 1. He makes it a little bit more of a level playing field, but it's still far from there around. 4 people still left standing on Jaeger's Academy. Well, you say Pauls is on low HP, but he's still holding a gun, and the gun can still fire bullets, and those bullets will hurt you as the attacking player. Pauls has 12 kills on his name. He's going to want to extend that kill number. But Monks finds Uhis, and it's a 3v2 situation as Pauls is going to be down. We're going to see him getting picked up by the smoke of, the mute of Tazi. So we're back into a 3v3. Pauls is, basically on the same amount of HP as before.
Yeah, he finally does get finished off, and I was about to say we were in the exact same situation that we had on RCTIC's last attack. A 3 versus 3 going into the execute, and it was all up to Uhis on red stairs on the smoke. But he has been eliminated from the round. Kusik now rotating to the platform breach is going to give an extra area of pressure to the 2 remaining defenders of Jaegers. As the bomb finally goes down, the impact grenade is not going to be successful in stopping that plant, and Tazi runs out onto the platform and gets that kill. But the bomb has gone down, so it's a retake now for Jaeger's defenders. VIP is very lit but holding a close angle, and he's going to be able to capitalize on any player that tries that defuse. They know of the position of the other player on the CCTV window, and a really well-timed pinch comes out, but they're not able to land the crucial shots as Tazi now rotating through construction finds his demise. And RCTIC with a really well executed final round onto final end of the round onto CCTV are still looking and graveling for a point.
RCTIC are not down. What they're trying to say with winning this round is, guys, I know you guys are losing a lot of faith in us, but we're not gone just yet. You still have the power in us to fight back, as VIP and Monks have 8 kills each. Absolutely going massive. Jesus Christ. It's RCTIC just showing their willpower to not give up on this map just yet, as they are now going to have to win 2 more attacking rounds. Do they want to make this a draw? Church Arsenal is next. Do you think Arctic have it in them to push this back into a 6-6?
I think potentially Arctic might go for a rush here. It's a viable strategy to completely ignore the SSG roam that the Arctic know Jaegers are going to bring out. They've seen the reveal phase, they've seen the operators that Jaegers have, they know what they're going to do. Last time Arctic attacked this, it was a flawless round for Jaegers. They completely crumbled. The players were positioned all over the map, just solo pushing, not able to be refragged, and it was a complete, in the nicest regards, it was a complete mess of an attack. So I wouldn't be surprised if Arctic do try and go for a rush strategy, potentially through Dirt Tunnel or through Stock Hatch or just simply down Blue Stairs. But obviously with an SSG style roam, every defense that does the SSG roam knows that there's potential of a rush, and I assume that Jaegers will be ready for it.
Arctic are getting inching closer towards the upset. Well, 70% of the community vote believe that Jaegers were going to win this match. If they can pull this off, it'd be something absolutely massive, as Jaegers have not dropped any points but a draw before, and this is going to be another draw if Arctic are going to be able to pull it off. Well, they need to show that they can, and Panda gets falls to the hands of VIP. And that's the start of the round, definitely in Arctic's favor right now, as one roamer is the leader of the board.
Yeah, Nidavi's peek down the main stairs window finds the first aroma of Panda off the board. So it's all up to Pause, Damantis, and Uhis, who are still situated on this middle floor. But Pause has found his rotate up the red stairs. And because Arctic's clear is not coming from CCTV side, that means that Pause is going to be free to lurk around the cache side and potentially go for a flank through master bedroom. But Tricky finds himself on the construction window, so he is holding that rotate, and as now the thermite charge comes on the single construction wall, that's going to alert the Jaeger's defenders to Arctic's intentions of fully clearing this roam.
Fully clearing this roam would be a very viable option, but the time is running out. 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining. We're already halfway through the round, and they've only established, well, they've now established kitchen control, but still not much of map control just to begin with. But they're going to slowly make their way in, and they're going to start making their push into the building, as the roamer is still in bar with, I think that was a punch hole, trying to shoot down people in kitchen.
Yeah, so now as the execute comes down kitchen hatch, all of the Jaeger's defenders fall through the moto hatch and down blue stairs, and they are now have 4 men on the bomb site. And Arctic don't know this because that visual scanner works through floors vertically, and that means that if they try and drone him out, he's still going to look like he's inside of, well, potentially Arsenal, but he has now moved into dirt tunnels. That visual scanner isn't going to be of much use. But Arctic don't know that that middle floor is clear because there's no drone set up in bar. They're not even bothered about clearing it. They just have VIP outside the grates holding the kitchen hall flank. So when they go for this site execute, which will have to come soon as that clock is ticking down, they're going to be met with all 4 guns of Jaegers ready for that. Uhis also has a C4 to expend to deny a plant or a kitchen drop, but it's going to be Demantis who starts off the initial killing inside the final 30 seconds. Tazzy also adds on to the player on bottom main stairs with a frag with the UMP, and now the rest of Arctic's attack are looking very, very choked down this kitchen hatch. Uhis gets another for the round, and it's into the meat grinder for Arctic as they all fall to their deaths, and Jaeger secure the first map, 7-4.
That was an amazing round to see. Jaegers patiently waiting downstairs, baiting them with the information, or generally the lack of information, as you have highlighted about the visual scanner. And it all came down to basically Arctic lining up on the kitchen hatch, dropping one by one by one by one into the meat grinder, as you'd call it, and they all fell to their demise, because that is a gunfight that is very hard to win, and Arctic just did not have it in them.
Yeah, the scoreline of 7-4 I don't think does justice to Arctic. Arctic lost 4 rounds in a 1 versus X situation. So there were 2 1 versus 1s and a 1 versus 2 that they ended up losing. Those 3 rounds go in their favor. They win the game. They win the map, sorry. So I don't think the scoreline does enough justice, and myself personally didn't do have I just frozen? Yeah, no.
Nope.
No, don't worry. I myself, I don't think I've done them enough justice. Yes, I criticize Arctic. I'm quite a critical person. I'm trying to keep a unbiased as possible. But Arctic were very good in the rounds that they were able to get a man advantage in their favor, and then they kept the man advantage, and they were able to close out those rounds. And if yes, another day, if they won those 1 versus 1s, 1 versus 2s, that map goes in their favor. Unfortunately, Jaegers were just a little more consistent in the way they approached the map, in my opinion. So I think a deserved win for Jaegers nonetheless.
That indeed, they did come out very, very strong into that map. Well, it was an absolute blast to watch that map, though. I did it really enjoy to see the Jaeger attacks. They were really, really interesting attacks and very, very well executed. Although they did end it on a 3-3 split, I think that's more of a showing of how resilient Arctic is, as you've highlighted. That they were able to adapt their defenses towards Jaeger's Academy. But gonna just see gonna just see how we are going to see. Sorry, excuse me. Let me just redo that entire sentence. Map 2, Oregon, is up next, but we're going to go to a quick break so we can get a sip of water. Please stay tuned for Oregon.
Welcome back, everyone, to ECS Play Day number 4, Major Division between Jaeger's Academy and Arctic. We now concluded the first map, which was Clubhouse, and a 7-4 victory for Jaeger's Academy. Arctic did give them a good run for their money, but ultimately it was Jaeger's who came out on top. A few very close rounds made for very good viewing, and I'm sure that we'll see the exact same on Oregon. Hopefully, these two teams can make Oregon not the most boring map I've ever seen, but give us more of what we saw in the first map.
I'm sure that if Arctic can keep up their good spirit, then I think that they can definitely put up a challenge against Jaeger Esports. We just need to see if they can actually just contain themselves, not let the previous map really get into their head. But we're gonna look into Oregon now, and it's still the same predictions as before. 73% the community thinks that Jaeger Esports is going to win. Well, they did win the first map. We're going to see if they can do the same thing for the second map.
Yeah, the first map was Jaeger's pick, and I think the Clubhouse is Jaeger's strongest map. This is now moving on to Arctic's pick. And a very interesting first ban coming out from Jaeger's will be the Ying. And I believe that Arctic, that's a target ban on Arctic, as they ran Ying on Oregon. Which Playday? One of the Playdays they've played before. But that's a very strong statement from Jaegers that they know Arctic's attack strats and they are willing to attack it at its core, because if you're relying on Ying, who has access to those 3 Candelas, 2 smoke grenades, and a pretty damn good gun with 80 bullets,
yeah.
not the older though, this one has an angled grip, it has an ACOG, it has everything. Not many people know Ying has every optic available like that.
Really?
I think she's one of the only characters in the game that has access to every single optic. She has obviously the 3 1x is the 1.5, the 2x, and the ACOG.
Damn.
Obviously not the 3x because it's not a DMR, but she has a lot of variety. So any player that wants to play her can suit her gun to your playstyle. She has an angle grip or a vert grip. So she's a strong operator, and of course, I'm glossing over the fact that she can blind an entire room.
Ying is
So
very OP indeed, yeah. But we see the same mirror ban coming out from similar as the last map, but what we didn't see last map was a Thatcher ban. Let's see if that'll make it difficult for the attackers to open up some walls, open up the hatches, especially downstairs, and upstairs you're talking about the closet wall as well as the attic wall. But the Cade ban also is going to reduce the stress on the attacker side.
yeah, that obviously leaves open the Maverick, well, all 4 hard breaches, but especially the Maverick. Maverick, along with Clubhouse, Oregon is probably one of his stronger maps, and you do commonly see him banned out here on Oregon, especially for that attacking the basement bomb site. He can be really strong, and adding on to it, he has 2 frag grenades, so you don't need to bring the sledge, which free ups the option for Kusik to bring the IQ. And now as Valkyrie is not banned, those black eye cameras on Oregon especially can cover so much ground, as the map is quite big. You can cover so much ground with those cams to give your team very vital intel, especially throwing cams out of the white window onto the bus or the windmill out small tower gives you complete sight onto the master balcony and potentially a run out from small tower, which is a lover of all the rank stars runouts.
Kind of calling me out there. I do that run out all the time. I feel a bit called out now, but it works half the time, sometimes. Well, gonna see how this is gonna work out for them, as there's a cam, but it's instantly destroyed by the side of Arctic, and it's gonna be quite sad about that, as he probably did put a lot of effort into throwing that one out. But as you've highlighted, the Valkyrie cams is going to be very, very influential in this play. But the IQ, a direct counter to it, can spot it at a reasonable range and can destroy them through all the soft walls or with barricades very, very easily with her pistol.
Arctic are going for this split push between Attic and Master Bed, but they are going to have to be really conservative with their X-Kairos on this Master Wall, because Tazzy is situated in a position to be able to impact trick the Master Wall, and as one set of X-Kairos goes out, Tazzy will look to chuck out an impact to deny the wall being open, but the X-Kairos do detonate. So Tazzy, obviously, with, I believe that was just the 2 X-Kairos going off. Yes, just the 2 above, meaning that Tazzy was not able to impact trick, and there we go. The rest of the X-Kairos are now being expended by Monks to open up that Master Wall onto the site.
Meanwhile, there's Soldier Mantis downstairs. It could throw a wrench in the plans of Arctic, but Pose is going to throw a wrench in NW's plans to get killed, as NW's drop nade from his dead body is going to kill Tricky, and that's going to put them in a very tricky spot, as they've lost 2 players that were pushing from Attic's side.
Yep, the unfortunate nature of when you die holding a frag grenade, there is no grenade indicator. And Demantis flanking up the armory stairs gets 2 for his troubles. No flank cam on the side of Arctic. He punishes that oversight, and it leaves Monks into a 1 versus 5. He does finally get the kill onto Demantis, but he has to find another 4 with the limited mag on the Type 89. Only the Master Breach open. Panda swinging close on the trophy door, but not able to land the shots with the MPX. Neither was Monks, and he's now got 40 seconds left to do something, maybe just pad the stats that we don't have on Arctic just yet. So if he has a negative KD, now's your time, Monks, to pad the stats, as I think our CSV files are working for today. 25 seconds left. The Toxic Canisters are going to be stalling out his push through the trophy door. There's still 1 left in Lucas's pocket. He does move across to the Master Breach, which has been absolutely fumbled. And finally he gets the kill onto the Jaeger side of Attic. Somehow Panda dodging and diving the kill, but finally he's finished off by the Bearing 9. Pushing through the trophy door, the pre-fire from the older at long range finally finishes off Monks and gives Jaegers their well-deserved first round.
Very, very valiant effort from Monks, trying to find 4, finds 2, but another 2 was just a bit of a tall order for him. Well, it was a very good try. It's very, very unlucky that the nade kill happened on the side of Arctic. And honestly, I'm quite sad and I'm quite disappointed by Arctic not having a flank thrown on the main stairs that just left Demantis being able to flank in and getting 2 kills, almost 3.
Yeah, that puzzles me, especially with Arctic not bringing Nomad, which last season ECS, in the playoffs, there was a lot of Nomad bans on Oregon, which is a really good ban because you can easily cut off the tower stairs flank and the armory flank with just 2 air jabs. And that means that there's not much flexibility for the defense, but with Arctic not even opting to bring the Nomad, you would at least think they would have a flank drone positioned to hold the most crucial flank of them all, the armory stairs. But there just wasn't that on their side, so especially this being their map pick, that's quite a big oversight for them.
It's quite unlucky indeed. It's quite an easy thing to do as well. It doesn't require much of work, but it's an oversight from Arctic either way. Let's hope they can fix themselves and gather their strength back together in this attack site as we are now going downstairs into Laundry. Gotta see an extend coming in from Jaeger's Academy, and extending into Elbow. It's quite common these days, especially in ranked and in higher level play.
Yeah, that'll be Eustace's job on the smoke. He has the kit to be able to take those close range engagements. Demantis has the kit to take another opening kill for Jaegers. He has the position of the Maverick locked in his sights, but Maverick does not give him that opportunity to collect the remaining HP that he had already taken off of him. The player on tower stairs pause. He will be able to collect a drone and just fall away, preserving his life and meaning that Arctic will have to send out a second drone to make sure the coast is clear to push in to small tower. Big tower.
Speaking about the drone economy, it's not looking too good. It was not looking too good. It's Kusik as he gets found by Panda, and it's just a 3v5. But HV-wise, it's more a 2v5 as I think that was Panda making it true by downing NW outside in blue. That's the diffuser down and nobody close by to pick up NW or the diffuser. We're going to see Tricky does get one back onto Panda. leveling out just a little bit, but nowhere near enough to really make a good push. He's up here with Monks, as Monks does get a W finally. He won't be left out to die. 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining, and one of the final drones for Arctic being put into use as they're going to try to find the valuable information. Pose gets droned. This is going to be his demise. Not sure just yet. Monks just throws his drone in as well. That's the final drone for Arctic. We're going to see them try to push in. They have 1 minute and a lot of time, well, relatively in siege, a lot of time to use up.
Yeah, the utility clear now comes from Arctic, but it might be too little too late as they are in the man disadvantage and running out of time. Tricky's trying to find a pick on the tower stairs onto the player in pillar, but that player has now left. It will be Paws who's on the barrel's door, still with a Goyo shield to cover his back on the bunker double door, but now a rotate coming from Arctic as they ditch the attempt to push through the bunker double. Now looking for a rotate through the laundry and freezer side as Tricky is distracting. Meanwhile, he does get a kill, but quickly traded as a double peek from Jaeger's nets at that 1-for-1 trade, but keeps the man count in their favor. With 30 seconds left, NW and Monks are going to have to try something spectacular to win this round because there's still so much utility in Jaeger's Academy's favor. The hatch drop from meeting is being held by Paws as no player outside the bunker double is able to remove him from that position, and the Evil Eyes giving the spots onto Monks pushing through the freezer hall. There's not even an inch of hope now for Arctic as still Toxic Babes and walking into a crossfire should be the end. Uhis gets one at range with the SMG-11. NW just preserves his life and means that Jaegers, with another very convincing round, already have complete command of this map 2 on Oregon.
2-0 in the lead and looking to extend that lead, going to kitchen and dining hall. It's not looking too good. The top fragger of VIP, well, maybe not the top fragger of last map, but a very, very potent fragger of VIP is not finding any kills. But Pause and Demantis, meanwhile, they're finding all the kills, or at least a lot of them, as they're going big with 3 and 2 kills respectively. It's not looking good for Arctic. They need to switch something up. Do they want to get a footing in this map?
Yeah, Arctic need to switch something. They've been absolutely demolished in the first 2 attacks. There's not much cohesion coming out on their roam clear. It was half-hearted attempts with the Jackal pinging out to the Melusi on top floor and then solo pushing. It was just a bit all over the place from Arctic, in my opinion. But then you've got to give credit to Jaegers because they forced the discombobulation from Arctic. It was impressive because they had the players positioned to be able to, especially Pause on rear tower stairs, to collect the drones, meaning that they couldn't entry into T1, and that allowed the roamer of the Melusi free reign on the top floor, because if you want to try and roam clear, you're going to have to start from either small tower or big tower, and Arctic opted for that big tower, but then they were halted at the first hurdle. So now they're looking to finally get a successful attack onto the tertiary site of kitchen and dining. But yet again, are Arctic going to be able to deal with the utility that Jaegers are throwing at them? The Goyo yet again being played, the Maestro, impact tricking, the mute jammers. There's a lot on the table for Arctic to deal with.
They're going to need to be really efficient in the roam clears. Domantis is going to be peeking from the classroom window, but nobody there to be found for him. You're going to see how efficient they can do the roam clear, because Demantis is going to peek. Oh, but that's tricky. He's waiting there. And a clean headshot on Demantis means that you're Goyo off the board. He probably already placed his shields, so that will not be the biggest loss, but it is one man down, and it's definitely going to hurt in the long run. Pause decides to fall back a little bit, not be pushing as aggressive, as he does barricade everything up, and the top 4 hold is going to continue for him, as there's still 1 minute 50 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Arctic don't look to be too bothered about the top floor hold from Pause. If he has the kitchen hatch in his control, he can deny a default plant in behind the couch in dining. But most teams have become clever to this, and they instead take showers control, then plant on the USA flag, which cannot be seen or covered from the hatch. But first, they actually have to clear showers, and that's Tazzy's job to stop RCTIC from getting that. He has impact to be able to impact trick the showers wall, and all 3 ADSs to protect him and his shield from any frag grenades or soft breach that do get tossed out.
Vip does find Uhis with an amazing frag grenade going all the way deep into sight, and that's your smoke gone. A lot of time that could have been wasted with the smoke is not going to happen, and it's going to be in RCTIC's favor. They, of course, do not necessarily know this, but they'll find out soon enough with 50 seconds remaining, as Kusek does find his life, and it is kind of back into a level footing. 3v4 now, as Tazzy is still in bathroom, holding out and holding his angle, but pause from up above could be the decider. As is he getting the toes of the diffuser planter? He does not, but Mozzie and Vip find kills, and they find heads, and it's all down to pause as Stricky finds him, and RCTIC pushing back with a round as it's now 2-1. They are not giving up as easily as Jaegers would want.
RCTIC didn't even clear showers, and they still managed to half execute onto the site. They got all the frags that they needed to end the round before they even needed to secondary attempt that diffuser plant. So pretty impressive for them to be able to frag out the players of Jaegers in the bomb site. And I think that the initial snowball was the frag grenade from Vip onto the smoke of Uhis. Uhis being taken out inside of kitchen meant that he was not able to toss out any of those toxic babes to stall out the plant or stall in the push that RCTIC would have made through the breach or the dining door. So a really impactful kill that Vip obviously picked up with the frag grenades on Iana. Iana has seen a lot more play recently. She's more of an off pick, but her pick rate has become stronger as we've moved out of this utility meta. You see her quite commonly on Villa because she has access to that Gemini replicator. And yes, Iana nades. Oh, okay, Jerry.
Jerry is a big fan of Iana.
I thought you were going for nades, but you went in a completely different direction.
I think Jerry is a big fan of Iana. We can.
I completely lost my train of thought on what I was going for. So, yes, RCTIC won a round.
Yes, they won a round. Very well. Well, this is going to be very good for their momentum. Well, I see the momentum, but their mental state, as Jaeger has been tearing through them for 2 rounds, but they got one back, and they might just have that little bit of hope in them. Like, maybe we can still win this map, or at least get a draw out of it. But we're going to see how effective that's going to be. We're going back upstairs, the first site that Jaeger's Academy did win. I would say very convincingly, but we're going to see if RCTIC have anything to say about that for the second time around.
These are really well placed for my disc. Thank you, Jerry, for showing that. That means that the ash charge from below or grenades from below will be caught by the discs, but there's no wall denial on the wall, so I'm confused why they would actually be... Oh, it's to catch the Selma charges. Okay, but it doesn't matter because Kusik has droned out those discs and just shoots them straight up. Pause inside of Attic does get taken down by the head height hole made from the Maverick, and on the beam, the Zafir capitalizes on the long angle with that 2x scope on the M762. So RCTIC get another opening kill, and hopefully they can turn this round as well into a win for them. Vip now situated on the double window. We will be able to apply pressure and potentially get a frag onto the head of Demantis. That's instead Panda on the Wamai, but not able to land the shot with that terrifying gun of the GA.
And GA is going to tear. What else is going to tear is the SMG-11 of Juhis, and the Vip gets a kill. So he's going to get tagged from the run-out from Demantis. He's going to be left with a little bit of HP to work with, but it's swiftly taken away. He does get down, and Demantis sweeps up that kill at the end. Juhis is down to 1 HP. He's back on site, but he still has one more Toxic Babe ready and in the hand, ready to shoot. Kosik gets Demantis, trying to rotate back onto site. Oh my, what a shot from the SMG-11 as MW goes down with the diffuser, and there's nobody close to pick it up. There's still a minute remaining, and 2 at least standing players left on RCTIC.
Both defenders on Jaegers are now cocooned into the back of the bomb site. You see the Maestro on the double window. He still has a shield to his advantage to be able to play that position behind the bunk bed, but Kusik potentially could Ash Charge that from below. Instead, he uses his final Ash Charge to take out the Banshee on the on the white stairs, and Monks from Attic finally finishes off what was left of Uhis. Now it is all up to Tazzy with those 81 bullets. He is not able to deny the plant that goes down behind the kid's bomb. As the covering player on the kid's window, we'll be able to fry him off the push, but it is Kusik from the white stairs to clean up that kill. And Arctic, funnily enough, they get 2 opening kills. They get 2 rounds won.
2 rounds in a row now for Arctic, looking very, very good. Momentum has swayed into their favor. People are getting on the board. We see Monks with 5 and Tricky with 1. Excuse me. On the Tricky with 5 as well. Excuse me for me stumbling over my words, but Jaeger Academy wanted to stop that right now. They want to stop that momentum from building, and they're going to go back down to Laundry Supply Room, a site they won the first time around, where everybody just fell one by one on the side of Arctic.
Yeah, this match is taking a different storyline to the first map. Anyone who watches Tier 1 Siege, NAL or EWEL will know that casters talk about opening kills a lot, and a rough stat of if a team gets an opening kill, roughly that translates into a round win 70-75% of the time. The first map on Clubhouse, pretty much every round that there was an opening kill, bar 3 rounds out of the 11 we saw, every round there was an opening kill for a team, the other team won the round. But so far, we're following the trend of Jaegers won the first 2 rounds after getting the first 2 opening kills, and then Arctic got the first 2 opening kills on rounds 3 and 4, and they then consequently won those previous 2 rounds. So we're completely taking a different view. Well, both teams are taking a different view on able to actually successfully trade out in their favor when they get the opening frag. So we're taking more traditional line of siege. And a really, really influential Twitch drone from Vip sneaks his way into the bomb site and takes down both ADSs on elbow.
That's going to be huge, as it's going to make it a lot easier for the attackers to be able to clear their person out, playing extended from blue into elbow, throwing in any projectiles. Well, the 2 last are going to be caught by those ADSs. I don't know where the third one is, per se. Could it be in elbow as well? I don't know if you caught that, Kenny.
It's on Barrel's door to protect Pause's Goyo shield.
I see. Amazing. Oh. Good eye. Yeah, so the person playing in elbow is going to be really, really vulnerable to any nades coming in, as there are nades in the hands of the Maverick. So if you decide to toss them in, Uhis is going to have a really, really tough time. But they're going to go for a top floor push from the tower side of things, as all 5 of their players are stacked over there. Can you enlighten us on what they are envisioning in this round?
Well, Demantis is envisioning throwing a Pokeball and killing the player in T2, but the player in T2 just hops out of the window. Lucky enough for him, but that means Demantis will have access to these T2 stairs and be able to creep down and hopefully find a frag, but he's looking the wrong way as the player behind him, just in the nick of time to save his teammate of Tricky from certain death. Wow, that was very well timed from Vip to come through the green double door to halt Demantis' inevitable kill on the Zafir.
Vip finds up another one as Pause falls to his demise, and that's 2 player on Jaeger Academy just gone. They bite the dust, and Vip wants to find another one, but he's not successful just yet as he does go prone. He's shooting head level, something he shouldn't do, and Vip is going to tag him even more. Gets 3 kills now on his name. MW gets another one, and it's all up to Uhis. He has smoke canisters, but that's not going to help him against 5 guns. NW's gun, the M4 of Maverick, is going to take Uhis' life, as he was valiantly trying to fend off 5 attackers, but to no avail, as Arctic are going into the lead for the very, very first time in this matchup.
The first time that Arctic have had a lead since the first round on Clubhouse.
Excuse me, you're completely right.
Wow. Now, that's a long time coming. But when you finally you spoke about mentality and momentum earlier. When you finally get in the winning side after being down for so long, that's when the team really starts to go through the gears and start to heat up and start winning their gunfights. We saw Vip winning every single gunfight he took that round, and Arctic just situated themselves in positions that were so much better than they previously attacked basement. They doubled up and were not solo pushing. They didn't initially go for a bunker take, but they were able to get meeting control by sending 4 players through tower, able to get control of meeting, open up the box hatch with the ace, and then rotate through to a bunker. So really well played from Arctic. Good adaptation from their pretty terrible opening round attack on Laundry.
Indeed, and they're looking very poised, taking a 4-2 split on their attacking half. Something we don't often see, or at least it's not conventional. You don't expect that. You don't expect the attacking side to be victorious in the half of the game, but Arctic might just pull it off here against, don't forget, Jaeger's Academy, top of the leaderboard right now. They haven't lost a game yet. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Nope, they've only drawn.
So it's looking. If Arctic can pull off this upset, it's going to be absolutely amazing for them, and it is going to give them a lot of points that they're definitely going to be needing, as they are now in 4th place. But that's all for later.
Yeah, and with the major division, if you were around last season here at ECS, when we were formerly known as EEG, the top of major division, the top 4 spots were separated by 2 points. And the seeding for the playoffs in major division is super important, because if you get in those top 2 spots, you go straight to the semi-finals of the playoffs. You only need to win 1 best of 3 to get into the best of 5 final for a shot at the prize pool. So major division is all to play for. Every point counts. And Arctic are looking to steal points away from Jaegers, and they are going to carry on their tremendous attack onto kids' dorms by getting the opening frag onto Tazzy. That was the Maestro with the impacts to be able to impact trick the Selmas off of the Master Breach.
The Maestro being off the board also means that the Maestro counts will not be able to be controlled anymore. Kusik doubles up his kill count this round as he gets posed as well, and that's your Jaeger off the board. Nothing really worth to mention of the Jaeger except for his chili that he has probably already placed in the beginning of the round. Yuhi is getting flashed out, but he doesn't get fully flashed, as he's going to get droned out. Vip finds another one onto Panda, and Jaeger are getting run over. Tricky finds another one. Kusik finds one, and it's all just a flawless round for Arctic, and they're going to go into the split with 4-2. I'm getting really hyped here. Arctic are going to be, or at least they're looking poised to pull off an upset, as they're going to go into their defensive half now.
Wow, 2 flawless rounds in a row for Arctic. That is something I have not seen for a long, long time. They've just flipped a switch and something's working. This is something that I've not seen from Arctic since they went through a run in the playoffs all the way to the grand final 2 seasons ago. They've just turned the burners on and are really starting to demolish Jaegers. But Oregon, with the bans, we have all 4 hard breaches open. It's not necessarily as defender-sided as most people would make it out to be. Yes, Mirror's off the table for the defense. Yes, Thatcher's banned for the attack. But also Cade is banned, which means that the defense isn't able to crunch on those Electra claws to waste time as much as they usually would be able to. And when Maverick's on the board, he has 2 frag grenades. We see Panda also bringing Sledge with another 2 frag grenades. There's just so much utility that the attack can work with. It's not that difficult to attack Oregon when you have all these options available. But a bomb site we haven't seen yet. Arctic first off, taking us to meeting room and kitchen with a very variable setup. I have not seen this before. They've opened up the feet holes on the stage onto T1 and opening up the classroom wall, and they're going to be holding Zulu instead of, say, castling off the split double into main lobby. This is a very nice hold from Arctic. Let's see how Jaegers are able to counter it.
Jaegers are definitely not expecting this to be their first sight, although Arctic can play in. Sorry, excuse me. Arctic is playing into the fact that Jaegers are expecting a top floor hold. I think looking at their operator lineup. Domantas, meanwhile, sticking up to the window. Maybe he can catch a defender off guard. Is he getting droned in? No, he is not, as he's going to smack open the barricade, create some line of sights, as they are fairly quickly already have control of Trophy and Hobo.
Yeah, an aggressive peek through the attic breach finds the opening kill from Monks onto Tazzy. That's a really good one-for-one trade as he removes the Maverick with 2 frag grenades off the board. Yes, the Mute has a availability of a C4, but that's not his aim when holding the top floor to utilize that C4 from a plant denial.
1 minute 50 remaining, and the defense is getting pushed. They're feeling the pressure from the attacker side that a lot of their utility is being burnt, and the drones are coming in. Their locations revealed just as Q6, he's got revealed, and we'll see if the Finnish engine can keep on going as VIP finds one. We're gonna see if he can double it up with another one. He can, says the Juhis goes underneath the scope, and Poles finds one, and Arctic is looking a little bit worse for wear, as you're gonna be down to a 3v2 now, and quite a lot of time still remaining for Jaeger.
Yeah, the issue that that top floor hold had, whenever they lost Attic, they lost their ability to fall back down to site. Because of the Ash of Demantis on Big Window, that meant that the 2 players on the top floor couldn't rotate down the white stairs, because he cut off that rotate by holding the Big Window. Demantis now rotating to main door is able to hold this position and the rotate through Zulu that Arctic are holding. The shield also being taken care of on the peak, almost coming with the C4, but not close enough to net the kill onto the Mantis. A second shield that Tricky hides behind, almost finding him blown up with the shield. And an aggressive position played by the smoke of NW levels the man count as now the 2 remaining attackers on Jaegers pushing through split looking to plant this bomb, but Uhis has been choked out, and a beautiful peek by Tricky finds one, but Uhis trades it out with a headshot with the 1x scope, and he finds the second as NW is caught lacking on the stage. A very, very exposed position for him to play in the 1 versus 1, and Jaegers do take their first round on attack.
Jaegers absolutely. It looked kind of shaky there at the end. It came down to a 1v1, as we are going to pause the lobby just real quick, as there are going to be some issues with on the side of Jaegers. It seems that we're going to actually do a quick rehost yet again. You're going to see our beautiful faces for just a little bit longer. It's me, Yannick, and next to me, it's Kenny. We're going to just dissect that last round just a little bit more detail.
Well, the first rounds that an opening kill didn't result in a round win for that respective team. Arctic did get the opening kill, that was Monks on the mute, but he was swiftly traded away, so not really an influential opening kill that didn't result in a trade. A really strong top floor hold from Jaegers, but they just lost out on not being able to rotate back to site. I think if the Jaeger of Kusik was able to fall down the kid's hatch, potentially then they had a 2-man advantage on, no, a level man count on site rather than being in the man deficit. But the 2 remaining anchors of the Malusi and the Smoke really put up a good fight, halting the assault onto the actual bomb site of meeting. But Jaegers, they stuck to their guns and they were able to clear the persistent roam up top that Arctic put in front of them, and the utility was still cleared out. The shields on Zulu were able to be cleared by Demantis' Ash charges, which he still had in pocket, and then they were able to flood through split as they removed the power position of Zulu and then just frag out on the bomb site.
Yeah, it was an absolutely amazing round to behold. The offside actually almost working out for Arctic though, and I think that is something that we can actually highlight that it actually almost worked out for them, but it was not to be. Should see they're probably going to pick. I'm willing to bet money or bet something that they're going to go into a more conventional side this time around. Maybe upstairs in kids' dorms, or maybe downstairs in laundry. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a safe bet, especially when you go 4-2 up on your attacking half. You may just want to excuse me, you may just want to dial it back and just take a secure bomb site, maybe not take as many risks because you've gone 4-2 up on your attacking half on Oregon against arguably the best team in Major Division at the moment. Take the safe bet. Maybe if you were down 4-2 at your half going onto a defense, then you take the risk of the meeting bomb site. But they took a risk. It didn't pay off, but now let's see if they take the solidarity of the kids' dorms bomb site or the laundry bomb site, able to capitalize on those cemented top two bomb sites to defend on Oregon. Obviously, kids' dorms was pretty convincingly won by Arctic on attack, and so was the basement, both with flawless attacks from Arctic. So it is doable for Jaeger's attack. They're now only one round down. So this game is all to play for. And yes, we got a really exciting match on Clubhouse. I feel like this map's going in the same favor.
Definitely is. Jaeger is pulling back from a 2-round deficit. They got back one, and who knows? Maybe after the next round, we're going to be back on level footing. I'd be interested to see this. I really, really want to see this map go full 12 rounds, and we can see a 6-6. Of course, the teams are not looking to do that. The teams want to find the points. Jaeger Academy. Sorry, excuse me. Jaeger's Academy want to increase their lead and increase the very substantial lead that they have right now. And Arctic, they want to catch up to them by winning this map. I'm hearing that the teams are ready, so we're going to go back into the game, and we're going to see how they're going to do on Oregon.
Yeah, so Jaeger's on that attacking side now. They did have a really good utility usage upstairs. They were able to open up with the ace, the attic wall, and then obviously the ace got picked off first, but Tazzy on the Maverick was able to clean up the job that was left by the ace. So yeah, Arctic now going for the safe bet of kids' dorms, bringing the similar lineup that we saw from Jaegers, the Goyo being a really good pick in the current meta and the current state of the game. A lot of those top pick defenders have lost their shields as coming with the new season. We saw Wamai lose her shield, Valkyrie lose her shield, Mira lose her shield, even though it wouldn't really be Mira shield. It's banned half the time. Here we go. Arctic with an extension into the closet. Very good adaptation from them, knowing that the attackers are going to get the master wall open eventually. Why don't we try and hold it and maybe get a frag for our troubles? Because it's actually a really difficult engagement to take as an attacker through that master door into the closet, especially if there's a shotgun of the mute or the smoke on the other side, hid behind a shield. If the smoke's there, if the mute is there, he has the ability to toss out a C4, and you're really restricted on the master balcony, so it's difficult to dodge a C4 that gets tossed out of that door onto the balcony.
It's indeed a very awkward spot to be in for an attacker. Well, we'll see if Jaegers are going to run into a quote-unquote trap, the trap that Arctic has set up for them. They surely have their own doubt that they are extending there, so they might actually just choose to totally forgo it, although I don't think that would be the wisest idea. Demantis from below gets found by VIP. Oh my god, what a swing! I don't think Demantis so much a VIP in that gunfight.
Yeah, just Demantis too close behind the drone not able to go far enough ahead into Zulu to clear that before Demantis exposed himself to that angle. The frag grenade from below of Panda does take away and clear the shield inside of closet that I spoke about, and also an added bonus, gets a whole chunk of HP off of Monks as well. He will be in a disadvantage in any further gunfight Monks takes, but obviously SMG-11 at close range, he only needs very short amount of time to get a kill. Arctic now hiding behind the shield inside of Trophy, that's VIP. It does get cleared by the second frag grenade on Panda, but stalling out. This is a very slow attack from Jaegers, and I assume that the defense from Arctic is just a time-wasting tactic.
Monks just sitting clear, doesn't want to hit any stray bullet, or want to get hit by any stray bullet, but NW is going to get droned, and Tricky with an amazing run out, gets one, almost gets the second, but he almost gets refragged by Uhis, but Uhis just can't get the kill. Dropping down from the roof just kills all your forward momentum. and that is kind of just that ruined the refrag there for him. But the attackers now still struggling to find any real map control. They're still outside with 1 minute remaining. Hibana is repelling on the south side of the building. Are we gonna see a very late push here from Jaegers, or is this looking like it's not gonna happen for them?
Yeah, they're stalling out. They don't have much going in the way for them. And because the Hibana dropped off the master balcony, that allowed RCTIC to even reinforce the closet. So now they have to waste even more time to get to the master closet. But they're not going to even be able to get there because they're falling before they even find the ground on the master balcony. As now all of Jaegers have fallen. 1, 2, 3. Count them up. RCTIC move ahead 5 rounds to 3.
Oh, RCTIC inching ever so slightly closer towards that. I'm gonna still call it an upset if they win this map from Jaegers. I think it's rightfully I can say that. Vip and Tricky going in huge, 2 kills each. Vip holding the Attic side, and Tricky with that amazing run out. I think that was planned. I think he wanted to get the Hibana off the rappel and off of the master balcony.
Yeah, by tossing the C4 up from Garage Runout, he either killed the Hibana or forced her off the balcony, and that allowed the anchor players to reinforce off the closet rotate. So really good team play there from RCTIC and good strategy below the initial strategy brought out from them. I'm loving to see these frankly almost innovative strategies from them. Yes, there's not much variation on Oregon, even though it is the newest map in the pool. There isn't, the map has already got, in my opinion, the same issue as the old Oregon. There's not much variation in attack or defense, but it's good to see RCTIC are bringing out the meeting holds with a strat I haven't seen before, extending into closet with the armory hold, which has been done before, but not as successful as I've just seen RCTIC do. So props to them for actually finding something new and actually giving me an exciting Oregon to watch.
You're not even wrong. I thought when we heard that Oregon was going to be the second map today, I was going to be, oh, it's just going to be yet another Oregon game. But RCTIC is bringing quite the spectacular show out now, as you did say just now. Oh my, oh my. Oh, I'm waiting. I really want to see RCTIC win this map, and I know it's supposed to be unbiased, but it would be an amazing Cinderella story for just this one game. Just this one game. RCTIC is going to take a bit of damage, and especially Kusik on the side of RCTIC. He takes half his HP is gone now to the hands of the Sledge of Panda, but nothing too detrimental. He'll still be able to run around with his gun in his hand and shoot all the bad guys.
Yeah, the RCTIC attack, the RCTIC defense starting around the middle floor just to waste time, collect a couple of drones, which they have. Look at the drones that Jaegers have already lost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drones have eluded them, and we're only a minute into the round, and Kusik even adds on to their downfall of the drones by graving Demantis. He has not been very successful on the entries so far, as peeking up the laundry stairs finds the headshot from the 416. He goes for a secondary peek, but no Jaeger's attack is there to meet the bullets. RCTIC now fallen all the way back to site, except for, is it Tricky in meeting, or am I seeing things?
I think you did see that right.
Yes, he
is.
is.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. You did see that right. Oh, yep, he's just running around. He's minding his own business. He does find another drone. Is he going to kill it? No, he's not. He's going to decide to maybe elude the information of the attackers. He does kill it, and there are people in kitchen. Did they open the wall? No, they didn't. Panda is taking the long way around, all the way up to T1, but decides to fall back. I think Tricky is going to keep his life here, but there's someone in Zulu. Pause. Does he know if Tricky sitting in garage? I don't think he does. He's looking the wrong way. Tricky might have an amazing flank opportunity here, as the Maverick is there as well. Oh no, this is not looking good for Jaegers Academy. Tricky, you have the opportunity to make your play of the day right now if he is going to sit in that little corner and peek it at the right time. But I think the right time has passed, as all the attackers are now moving towards the other side of the map.
Yeah, surely the call comes out from his team that they have flooded down laundry stairs and freezer stairs, as Panda finds himself in the site but falls into the trap of a crossfire. Another kill from Vip, and it's all up to Tazzy in the middle of the closet, and he gets found upon and collapsed upon and killed upon. RCTIC secure a point and, more importantly, take the ability for Jaegers to win all 6 points of the Playday from their grasp.
RCTIC are on match point. This could be the first loss in the books for Jaeger's Academy. Are we going to see it happen today in Playday 4? Well, it's all going to be down. Well, not all. It could be all done in the next 3 minutes and 45 seconds. We're going to see how RCTIC is going to defend this. And more importantly, see how Jaeger are going to adapt to the defenses of RCTIC.
Yeah, yet again, a really cumbersome roam clear from Jaegers. They just didn't have all their avenues covered, and a team that looks so regimented on Clubhouse, they're not transferring that regimency, is that even a word? I'm going to say it anyway. Their regimency to the map of Oregon, and you saw Tricky was just eluding every single drone and player that Jaegers threw into the map. He started off around Freezer Stairs area, rotated into Meeting, wasn't found in Meeting. There was no player outside main door or around main lobby to cut off that rotate. He was able to find himself in Garage, which was the really good play, because 2 minutes into the round, Jaegers had hardly any drones, and when are you going to expect 2 minutes into the round a player to be sat in Garage? You're not. Yes, he didn't get any kills from that position, but if he peeked out maybe slightly earlier, he would have got 1 or 2 frags for that. So Jaegers are just not been as relentless on their roam clear on Oregon as they have been on previous maps such as Clubhouse.
I think something might have gotten into their head. I think they might be giving RCTIC a little bit too much respect. They're not taking the gunfights, but who's not giving enough respect? Who's not going to give respect is Panda to Kusik, as he does take his hat off, and that's the Jaeger off the board. Good lead kill for Jaeger's Academy here. Early on in the round, it's going to give them at least a bit of momentum in this round.
Yeah, so they're now going for this top floor clear, which they were successful in clearing last time around. They had a bit of trouble doing so, but now getting the first opening pick since round 2. Jaegers are looking to spiral that into a win and hopefully collect a point with a draw. But RCTIC, they are not going easy. But yes, they might be. Bit falls inside of Attic, and the follow-up grenade from Panda finds the player inside of Kids' dorms. So it's all up to the 2 remaining anchors of NW and Tricky. But because they've lost top control, they've lost the meeting hatch control. And NW sat below the meeting hatch is eliminated. And with half the round still left to play, Tricky finds himself in a 1 versus 5. Gets spotted out inside of Split, fires a few pot shots through the kitchen wall, but not able to find anything. He needs a lucky couple of 1v1s here, but Panda on the floor with the SMG-11 at close range is unable to land the shots. Tricky does find that one, but he's left up to the RG-15 as UHIS finally confirms that plant inside of kitchen. Rotating through dining, he has 4 to find. He narrowly misses the head of 1 inside of green door. Now pushing through, does eventually finish off the head of UHIS, but Tazzy through the kitchen wall returns the favour. The headshot onto the Malusi, and the round secured for Jaegers.
Tricky stuck in a tricky spot with 5 attackers to find. Of course, attackers having just a little bit superior firepower on their hands was not looking very favorable for him. But I think if RCTIC can just forget that round, they can kind of look into the next round and know that they're back on a default side, we're back on Kids' dorms. They can win this. They can win this next. They have. Excuse me, I need to just have a little bit of a breather here. They need to just give a mental reset. The last round did not happen, and we can win this round, and they can take this map if they can win Kids' dorms right now. If Jaegers win next map or next round, excuse me, they're gonna come back all the way to a 6-6 because the momentum will just be that much in their favor.
Yeah, I think something to note. Jaegers got their first opening kill for the first time since round 2. I said that mid-round, but I just want to hammer that home. RCTIC have got every opening kill in the previous 6 rounds. No, 7 rounds. That's massive for momentum. When you're effectively attacking or defending every round in a 4 versus 5, you just feel like you're backed into a corner and there's nothing that you can really do. You're always on the back foot and looking to make a play rather than forcing the opposition to make a play. And especially when Jaegers do get that opening kill and they look to get momentum, they get the round in their favour. But they're not going to be getting this round in their favour because a run out from small tower from VIP, not even using the intel of a Valcam, just off his ranked mentality with the rook of all operators, finds the opening kill onto Panda, and Demantis falls to a C4 out the classroom window, and it's all looking very bleak now for Jaegers.
Jaeger's falling apart one by one. US down to half HP. Oh, it's not looking good for them. They still have a lot of time, but they also have a lot of people of RCTIC to find. They're gonna make their way and start carving some holes into the attic wall, as Tazzy is gonna use his Maverick Blowtorch to do that. But with 3 people to attack top floor, it's not going to be looking too good for them. There's not enough people to put the pressure from any of the angles. Yuha's going to try though, as he's going to go inside master bedroom, holding the angle. But there are cams everywhere. Pause gets tagged to half HP. Him and Yuhis now combined only make the operator HP of 1 person. It's looking very, very bleak here for Jaeger's Academy.
They still have half the round to work with though, so that's really the only thing going for them. HP advantage not in their HP not in their favour, man count not in their favour, utility not in their favour. They do, however, get the Master Breach open, so that's step 1 of bringing this round back. That's Uhis opening up with the X-Kairos, but the player of Kusik rotates his way into Master Bedroom. No flank cam that we saw from RCTIC's attack, now being the downfall of Jaegers themselves. And with a minute left, a 2 versus 5. Pause looking to try and eke something out of RCTIC, but they're not giving it to him. The player close on the master door may land the shots, and yes, Kusik gets that frag, and NW adds on. It's a 7-3 victory for RCTIC, and the first loss of the major division so far for top spot. Jaegers Academy, yes, they still stay at the top with 19 points, but that's going to give a lot of hope to the teams below them.
Jaeger's crumbling for the first time this season, losing their very, very first matchup on Oregon of all maps. A map they won twice against PG Tips and Skittle, respectively, with a very convincing fashion, but this time they could not muster the power or the or something like that against RCTIC.
Yeah, really impressive second map from RCTIC. I think that RCTIC got what they deserved from the Playday. I think both teams deserved 3 points, which does end the day in a draw. The first map, as I said, RCTIC lost 3 rounds in a 1 versus X situation, which if they, on another day, they go in their favor, they take that map. And I think that they potentially did deserve a point from Clubhouse, but just the solidarity from Jaegers and their effectiveness on attacking and defending club was the ultimate winning factor for that map. But RCTIC really pulled it out on Oregon. After the first 2 rounds, I was quite hesitant when Jaegers took the opening 2 rounds on their defense. It was the attacks were quite sloppy from RCTIC, but then something just happened. I don't know what. Maybe they finished eating their dinner after the break between maps in the first 2 rounds, or they just had their G Fuel, or what happened, but something happened to RCTIC and they just steamrolled the rest of Oregon.
I think the Finnish diesel engine finally got up to speed, and when they got up to speed, they started wreaking havoc. But they won 1 map, but Jaegers Academy also won the other map. They won Clubhouse 7-4, and RCTIC won Oregon 7-4. So it's pretty even actually if you look at the rounds.
Yeah, 2 teams, I would say, evenly matched.
Indeed.
and a great show. I've got to say, I even did the predictions in Twitch chat for both maps, and I said the title was who would win Borehouse and who would win Boragon, because boredom and
Yes.
everyone gets the joke. The joke that's been refueled 24/7, but two maps that were very exciting. I've got to give credit to both teams giving us a great show today, and I'd like to thank our production behind the scenes, Tudors, who is our initial observer, Jerry, who stepped in, Noah behind production, and of course, for the first time, Yannick. Thank you very much for being beside me. Any closing words from you?
It's been an absolute blast. If you watch the stream and you think you can help me improve, please feel free to DM me on Twitter or at me on Twitter or reach out to me any way you feel. I'm always open to advice. Other than that, it's been an absolute pleasure casting for ECS, and I can't wait to be back sitting here casting for ECS again.
Au revoir.